Welcome to the new NHL, man. Welcome to the new NHL. I mean, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, obviously, I'm going to take a win any chance I get. I'm always going to take a win, right? But straight up, like, how are you supposed to feel good about that? You know, and don't get me wrong, like, before we get heavily into what happened here tonight, I mean, I got to get it out of the way right now. Like, 4 to 5 of those goals against are on Toronto's goalies. There's no doubt. But this is what I'm talking about, right? Were they playing badly before and now it's getting out of hand? Or were they playing just fine before and everybody got in their heads and now they're screwed? Because that was both of them, man. That was both goalies. Both goalies letting in some real soft ones tonight. You know what I mean? So what are you going to do now, Toronto? You know what I mean? At some point, don't you kind of got to say, hey, let's help these guys out? You know, start blocking shots yourself or something, right? And I love how people will be like, well, sometimes your goalie's got to get you one. You know what I mean? Even though it's a tough save or whatever, sometimes your goalie's just got to get you one. I mean, I agree, right? But shouldn't that also be the flip side too? Clearly, Jack Campbell's having a bad night, right? You got all kinds of wiggle room. There was really no reason to give up any shots, practically. You know what I mean? Why are they giving up shots at all, practically? Just play solid defense. Cut that right down. How did Detroit get back into it for shots? I'll tell you how. Because as soon as the Leafs got scored on a couple times, their brains go, oh crap, I gotta score another 3 goals. Because otherwise we're gonna lose. We always lose when we have a 4-1 lead and all that stuff, or whatever else is going in their heads. Look, the new NHL is so emotional, man. It's so emotional. These guys, they are not built the same way as players from before, because to them, this is the toughest thing a lot of them have ever faced in their lives. Right? The players of old, I mean, a lot of them had to worry about whether they're gonna have a job the next year or not. Like some of the old school players in the 80s and stuff. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot more going on in their heads that they had to deal with. That rumors about what's going on in hockey was like the least of their concerns. They were tough as nails for that stuff. Whereas like the kids today, right? Like this is all they have. This is their only controversy to deal with in life. They got catered meals, catered flights, fancy hotels, you know what I mean? Planes, not buses for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, the NHL players today have it better than anyone has ever had it before in terms of all the amenities, all the training programs, everything like that. So, it's so emotional because this is the only way they've ever been tested. You know what I mean? They don't have external factors so much that force them to toughen up and not deal and deal with just things not going your way sometimes. Right? So what happens is the Leafs get scored on a few times, and then all of a sudden, oh, now they really start to fall apart, don't they? Because now they're right back to trying to score. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, you come away with a win regardless. You know what I mean? They still finish strong. I don't like the fact that they pulled Anderson. Oh, my goodness. I don't like the fact that they pulled Campbell, to be honest. You know what I mean? So you pull Campbell, and then your backup still lets in 2 softies. I think it would have been nice to just kind of let oh my goodness. I'm all psyched up from the sound stuff. I think it would have been better to just let Campbell battle it out. I don't like the idea of pulling a goalie when you're in the lead. That always seems fishy to me. Pulling the goalie when you're in the lead. I don't know. And absolutely, like, don't get me wrong. Campbell's having a bad night. He's having a bad night, but so's the other guys. They had 2 goalies having a bad night over on the Detroit end. Right? 2 goalies having a bad night. So what was the worry? That they got within 1? You know what I mean? Come on. So that's all I'm saying. Yeah, but they all played themselves out. Like, don't get me wrong, the majority of the goals tonight were Campbell's fault. I'm not refuting that at all. You're not gonna get me into an argument about that. Because obviously that's true. You know, the majority of the goals against Campbell were his fault. Now, I think I still saw 1 tip in, and I forget the other one as well. There was another one that was a little fishy. You know what I mean? Not really on him, but like that's 2 out of 5. So I'll give you that, man. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Like he was coming apart, right? So battle for him. He still got the lead. He still got you there. I think it's just forget protecting Campbell's emotions or feelings for a second, okay? Like let's tune that right out of it, okay? let's say we don't know who Campbell is. We don't care one bit about who he is or how well he's done for us. Forget all that for a second. If you're looking at it strategically, you're in the lead still, and you're about to put in a cold goalie. A cold goalie in the NHL, to me, from what I see from my own personal eye test, a cold goalie's probably going to give up one more goal. Depending on how early they come in. I mean, if they come in with a couple minutes left, hey, maybe you get away with one. But when you got like a whole period left to go, you know what I mean? When you got a bunch of time left to go and you put in a cold goalie, they're probably giving up one, right? Which is why when you start to lose and you want to switch out the goalies, you actually have to be pretty proactive. You can't wait till you're down three goals to pull a goalie, because I mean, then they're going to give up a fourth a lot of times, and now you're really down, right? So when you're talking about a deficit, you got to be quick to do it. Like if they had dropped by a goal, hey, he's gone. He's gone. If he drops by even one goal, he's gone. But as long as it's still a tie game or better, I mean, you're not doing worse than their goalies. So, you know what I'm saying, Leslie? I can see it, but I can't hear anything. This sucks, man. Well, I'm glad you guys can hear everything, but this sucks for me. This sucks for me. Maybe we'll do the second half of the show after a quick reboot of my computer or something like that. But this thing is so slow now, it could take me like an hour and a half to reboot it, man. God. But yeah, I mean, so let's get that out of the way, the goaltending situation. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do now, man. I don't know what they're going to do now, but, you know, I blame a lot of you out there. We could have just shut up about it. We could have just shut up about it and let it go and focus on the bigger issues, but we made mountains out of molehills, and now we got a goaltending issue again. I mean, we just do now. So, yeah, none of the goalies were doing well, but like, what, they can't have a few games off, you know? So, the good news is we saw some other good things though, right? They still finished strong, like we talked about. Bunting's looking good out there, oh boy. You know what I mean? Marner gets the hat trick, followed up by a fourth goal with the bunting now, the bunting backhand. Oh, man, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know that's because he saw Marner doing it, and he's like, all right. That's the game we're playing? I can do that too. I love that. That's almost a bit of friendly competition right there. You know what I mean? It's respect because he wants to pay Marner back for the times that he's been blessed, right? With those kind of backdrop passes and stuff like that. He's definitely trying to return the favor a little bit. But at the same time, he's also trying to show like, hey, don't forget, man, I'm here too, and I can do stuff. Look at me. Well, bam. So, I mean, I love it. That's a context where it works, you know? So, and then one more thing, though, we got to mention before I try and fix whatever the heck is going on with my audio. Okay? Before we get into it, before we restart and try and do all that, Justin Hall was a +3 tonight. Justin Hall was a +3 tonight with 3 assists. Now, Leslie, I think you pointed that out. So maybe Quinlan and people like that want to chime in here about this right now before we cut it off and get into the next part of the show. But, you know what I mean? 3 assists and a +3. Now, he could have been out there for equal amount of goals and goals against outside of his three points. So, you know what I mean? I don't know what the stats are. He could have been technically out there for like what, almost all the goals against or whatever, however the math works. So it doesn't mean that he was only out there for 3 goals and that he was a part of those 3 goals. Is all I'm saying. So it's not as specific as that. But Hall +3, 3 assists. That's perfect point efficiency though. Right? He made full use out of those 3 points. So, are we seeing something yet? At AKZ, you're saying Brody was a +4 and went down as a +2. Went down to +2 by the end. Yeah, Brody was looking good for a while there at the +4. You know? So, and yeah, 2 of which were primary assists too, by the way, Thebus. Thanks for chiming in there about Hall there. Look, man, Imagine if you were capable of really great things, right? Jay Bizzle, how you doing? Jay Biz. How you doing? Wings fan here. That was some fantastic entertainment. I look forward to future battles. I know we stink, but it's a lot of fun to watch these young teams play each other. I also really enjoy your content. Keep it up, man. Well, welcome. Hey, give a good game, folks. Give a good game to JBiz there for coming in here as a Red Wings fan to just say hello and say good game and stuff, all right? That's sportsmanship right there, guys. That's sportsmanship, and that's what I love about, like, real hockey fans. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Thank you for saying so, JBiz. And don't worry, man. I mean, Detroit's not doing, all the wrong things or anything. It was one of those games, man. Leafs were just as guilty. Leafs were just as guilty on a lot of that stuff that the Red Wings were guilty of tonight. We just got the better offensive powerhouses right now. That's all. That's all it was. This was a gunslinging showdown, and it was just like, who's got the most ammo? So right there, GGs and stuff like that in there for you, too. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Make sure to follow, eh? Maybe get a subscription, get a little maple leaf beside your name. I can't change it to a Red Wing, I'm sorry, but you know what I mean? I would if there was a multiple, like, badge of honor option. You know what I mean? Then maybe I would give you one, but I don't know how to do that. I'm old. I can't even get my sound worked right tonight. I can't hear my own music right now. I can't hear it. Which means I can't hear the speech when we get into the Discord, so I'm gonna have to fix that, Days, if you want to have that conversation. I'm definitely down, though. We can do it, but that's about it for me, all right? That's about it for me on the goals against, all that stuff. Leafs come away with a win. It's a freak show of a win, but you take it and you move on. Hey, maybe a little too much pressure on our goalies as of late. That's how I'm going to say it, right? Yeah, they're crumbling now, but maybe there doesn't need to be so much pressure is all I'm saying. Be strategic out there, guys. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Be smart about it.